The coming doom Ragnarok in Norse mythology. Imagine a world shrouded in darkness, where the sun and moon are swallowed by wolves, plunging the world into eternal night. Imagine fierce battles and terrifying monsters, where giants and gods clash in a final, cataclysmic struggle. This is Ragnarok, the end of the world in Norse mythology, a prophecy that foretells the ultimate destruction and rebirth of the cosmos. The Vikings believed in this epic prophecy with unwavering conviction, seeing it as an inevitable fate that awaited both gods and men. It was more than just a story to them. It was a profound truth that resonated deeply within their culture and daily lives. It was a powerful idea that shaped their lives, influencing their values, their actions, and their understanding of the world around them. Ragnarok wasn't just about destruction. It was also about renewal and transformation. It was about the cycle of death and rebirth, a reminder that from the ashes of the old, new life would emerge. It taught the Vikings about courage and acceptance in the face of the inevitable, encouraging them to live bravely and honorably. The myths painted a vivid picture of the end times, filled with rich symbolism and dramatic imagery. The word Ragnarok means fate of the gods, signifying the ultimate destiny that even the divine could not escape. It signifies the ultimate battle between good and evil, order and chaos, where the forces of darkness and light would meet in a final confrontation. The Vikings believed that even the gods were not immortal, that they too had an appointed end, and that their demise was part of the natural order. They too had an appointed end, a fate that was inescapable and written in the very fabric of the universe. The story of Ragnarok is a powerful testament to the Norse understanding of life, death, and the eternal cycle of the cosmos. It is a tale that continues to captivate and inspire, reminding us of the timeless themes of courage, fate, and renewal. The warning signs, harbingers of Ragnarok. These ancient symbols and runes tell a story of doom and destiny, etched into the very fabric of Norse mythology. The Vikings believed that certain events would signal the coming of Ragnarok. They would gather around fires, sharing tales and prophecies handed down through generations, always vigilant for the signs. These warning signs were like a countdown to the final battle. Each grain of sand slipping through the hourglass brought them closer to the inevitable end. They believed that moral decay would set in. Communities would be torn apart by greed and betrayal, with even the closest of kin turning against each other. The world would be plagued by greed, strife, and betrayal. Warriors who once fought side by side would now clash in senseless battles, driven by mistrust and ambition. One of the most significant signs was the Fimbulwinter, a 3-year-long winter. This relentless cold would freeze the land and hearts of men, testing their endurance and spirit. This brutal winter would bring famine and hardship. Families would struggle to survive, their food stores depleted and hope dwindling with each passing day. The sun and moon would vanish from the sky. The stars would disappear. Darkness would engulf the world, leaving it in a perpetual state of night. The natural order would be disrupted. Animals would act strangely, and the very land itself would seem to rebel against its inhabitants. Earthquakes would split the land. The ground would tremble and crack, swallowing homes and lives, leaving destruction in its wake. The seas would become treacherous and unpredictable. Longships that once sailed with confidence would now battle against the fury of the ocean. These events would create fear and uncertainty throughout the 9 realms. Panic would spread, and the once proud and fearless Vikings would find themselves questioning their fate and future. The Great Winter Fimbulwinter grips the world. The Fimbulwinter was a time of great suffering. The endless winter would grip the land in an icy embrace. Snow would fall ceaselessly, piling up into impassable drifts. The harsh conditions would make it impossible to grow crops. People would struggle to survive. They would be forced to scavenge for food. Many would starve to death. The Fimbulwinter was a test of human endurance. It was a time when only the strong would survive. Animals would perish in the freezing temperatures. Wolves would grow bolder, driven by hunger. They would prowl closer to human settlements, their howls echoing through the long nights. The chains break. Loki's escape and the gathering of enemies. The skies darken and the air grows heavy with the promise of impending doom. Loki, the trickster god, was bound but not forever. His imprisonment was a temporary measure, a fragile attempt to contain the chaos he embodied. His chains would eventually break, signaling the beginning of Ragnarok. The sound of chains shattering echoed through the realms, a harbinger of the end times. Upon his escape, he would rally the giants and monsters against the gods. His silver tongue and cunning mind would unite the forces of chaos. The forces of chaos would gather. Giants, monsters, and all manner of dark creatures would heed Loki's call, drawn to the promise of destruction and revenge. Jormungandr, the world serpent, would rise from the depths of the ocean, its massive body creating tidal waves that crash upon the land. The seas would churn, and the earth would tremble at its emergence. The ship Naglfar, made from the fingernails and toenails of the dead, would set sail. This ghastly vessel, a symbol of death and decay, would carry the harbingers of doom. It would carry an army of giants and monsters towards Asgard, the realm of the gods. The ship's journey would be fraught with peril, but its destination was clear. Loki, as Loki, the time has come. His voice, filled with both malice and determination, would resonate through the hearts of his followers. The gods will fall, and chaos will reign. The final battle, a clash of titanic forces, would reshape the world. The age of the gods would end, and a new era of chaos and rebirth would begin. The final battle would take place on the field of Vigrid. This was where the fate of the gods and the world would be decided. The gods, knowing their doom, would arm themselves for the inevitable confrontation.
Odin, the All-Father, would lead the Aesir gods into battle, knowing that he was fated to die. Thor, the god of thunder, would face his nemesis, the monstrous wolf Fenrir.
Heimdall, the watchman of the gods, would sound the horn, Gjallarhorn. Its sound would signal the start of Ragnarok and summon the heroes of Valhalla to fight alongside the gods. Odin, despite his wisdom and power, was fated to be swallowed whole by Fenrir. He would meet his end with courage, knowing that his death was unavoidable.
Thor, wielding his mighty hammer Mjolnir, would fight valiantly against Jormungandr. He would slay the serpent but succumb to its venom.
The battle would be fierce and chaotic. The earth would tremble beneath the feet of the combatants. The sky would be filled with lightning and fire. One by one, the gods would fall. Fire and flood Surtur's fury and the world's end. Surtur, the fire giant, would unleash his fury upon the world. He would set fire to the 9 realms. The flames would consume everything in their path. The world would be engulfed in a fiery inferno. The seas would boil, the mountains would crumble, the sky would turn black with smoke. After the fire would come the flood. The waters would rise up and cover the earth, cleansing it of the destruction. The old world would be no more. Rebirth or oblivion. 2 versions of the future. There are 2 versions of the Ragnarok myth. One version speaks of complete destruction, an irreversible end to all things. The other version offers a glimmer of hope. This version suggests that from the ashes of the old world, a new world would emerge. 2 humans, Lif and Lifthrasir, would survive Ragnarok. They would repopulate the world. The earth would be reborn, green and fertile. The surviving gods, Baldur and Hodor, would return from the underworld. They would rule over this new world, which would be wiser and more peaceful than the last. Living with Ragnarok, the myth's impact on Viking culture. The Vikings didn't see Ragnarok as a reason to despair. Instead, it inspired them to live with courage and honor. They knew they couldn't stop Ragnarok, but they could control their actions. The myth encouraged them to be brave in battle. They believed that dying bravely in battle would grant them entry to Valhalla. There they would feast with the gods and prepare for the final battle. Ragnarok taught the Vikings to appreciate the present moment. They knew that the world was not eternal. They lived their lives to the fullest, embracing both joy and sorrow. The enduring legacy, Ragnarok's message for today. Ragnarok, though a myth, holds a timeless message. It reminds us that everything is temporary. Even in the face of inevitable endings, there is hope for renewal. The myth encourages us to confront challenges with courage. It teaches us to live our lives with purpose, knowing that our actions have meaning. The story of Ragnarok, though born from a different time and culture, continues to resonate. It reminds us of the cyclical nature of life, death, and rebirth. It serves as a powerful metaphor for the challenges and triumphs of the human experience.